Om Shanti. The burden of the song, which is called the take in Hindi, the line which is repeated again and again. After you have sung 2, 3 or 4 lines, there is a particular line which is repeated, and that was Shiv Baba ki santan hai hum. Again and again, to remind us. That is the focus. The whole song is about it. Shiv Baba ki santan hai hum. Shiv Baba ki santan hai hum. Shiv Baba ki santan hai hum. You see. So what does it mean? Yes, we have understood it a number of times that Shiv Baba ki santan hai hum. We are children of Shiv Baba, but it is being hammered into our head. Once I visited an exhibition, and the very first picture in that exhibition was that a nail was being hammered into the head of a person with a big hammer, and the face of the person showed that it was wide open, the mouth, and as if he was going to cry. So that was significant. Before the whole exhibition started, this was the one which preceded all of them. A nail being hammered into the head of somebody. So what did it mean? There are certain things which do not go into our head. They go into our ears, and they say they go into one ear and come out of the other. But they do not stay in the head. So somewhere else in the head someone has to hammer it out into it. So also the burden of the song, Shiv Baba ki santan hai hum. Shiv Baba ki santan hai hum. Shiv Baba ki santan hai hum. Now this word Santan, generally translated as children, we are children of Shiv Baba. Because children is common gender, masculine as well as feminine. But children generally means small aged. But we are now grown up, isn't it? There was a time when we were small children, tiny tots, but now we have grown up. And being the children or the sons and daughters, because if you say sons, then you have to say also daughters. Otherwise, a woman activist would say, you are a male chauvinist pig, talking only of the males, neglecting the women. And the gender here is not involved because the soul has common gender. This word santan is better. So there are certain words which should be noted which are Hindi words, but which better be used rather than English words. Shiv Baba ki santan hai hum. So that places certain duties on us. It gives us some kind of intoxication, no doubt. I don't know why they call it intoxication. There are no toxic in our bodies if we just remember Shiv Baba. But again they use this word intoxication. Nasha is something different. Intoxication actually is something different. Whatever it be, if we are children, grown-up children, of Shiv Baba, then certain duties are there, certain responsibilities. We also then have a proper place, a special place in the scheme of things, the scheme of the world drama. The Jews used to say, as the Old Testament says, we are the chosen few. You see, that is what the Jews said. We are such a nation, such a community. But we say we are the chosen ones. Shiv Baba ki santan hai hum. So that means so much actually if we just think deeply over it, what it means. Now songs generally are not a thing to be critically examined. They are not a piece of prose, a piece of philosophy. They are meant to be a food for the right brain, you see, side of our brain. But to enjoy, to get entertainment. But all the same, they have a meaning, a deep meaning. And this therefore was being driven into our head again and again. Shiv Baba ki santan hai hum. So all through the day to day, you may just, when you are taking your breakfast, going back home, working in the office, Shiv Baba ki santan hai hum, Shiv Baba ki santan hai hum. You see, think over it. Enjoy this song. Not only leave it when you leave this hall, but keep it with you in your head and just enjoy. Now, taking up the thread from where we left yesterday, I was just mentioning some of the formulas, 8 formulas of success in the spiritual path. Success of what kind? In order to become Ashtadevta, to come among the 8 deities, or to become one of the deities, gods and goddesses. I said there are many formulas, but 8 of them are special. So some of them had already mentioned. Now the rest, because I was asked to complete before I leave. Otherwise I won't be given the permission to leave. Already I left incomplete the topic on vrittis. So I very much hope that before I leave I will complete them. And even if I am not able to complete, wait for my next arrival here, you see. So some of them which I had already mentioned was, Dena hi lena hai. Giving is having. This is the basis of golden age. All the economics there, the marketing system, the dealings between human beings. There is no division of property there. Everyone has the freedom to have as much as they like, you see. So giving is having. The other was jhukna hi jhukana hai. To bow is make other people bow. When you respect others, others will respect you. When you have humility, then only people also give up their ego when they come to you and behave with you. So that is the way. त्याग से ही भाग्य बनता है, you see. Renunciation, spirit of renunciation. That त्याग से ही भाग्य बनता है. When you give up, when you renounce, then you get so much in return of it. So there can be a mathematical formula. How much tyag gives you how much bhagya. An algebraical or geometrical equation. How much tyag you make of what thing and how much you get in return. If you just make a tyag of money, how much money you give up according to your capacity and how much is your bhagya. I had once tried to arrive at a formula. Because अगर त्याग से भाग्य बनता है, If renunciation makes us lucky, gives us fortune, makes us the wealthiest, then how much of tyag gives us how much of bhag, you see. There should be some basis of calculation. So I don't remember it at the moment, but I had racked my brains to find out as to what could be the formula, the equation, mathematical equation. Then, now, another one which I said was, marna hi jeena hai. Dying is living. When you die of the old, then only you have a new life. If you want to have new experience and altogether new world, new life, then you have to die of the old. So marna hi jeena hai. You can't have new experience of being with Shiv Baba unless and until you forget about the past. You see, you have to get yourself totally detached from it. And just as a person who dies, gives up the body, takes another birth among another family, then he has no remembrance of his past life. He forgets about his relatives, the events of his life, and so on. There are, of course, few exceptions. People have recorded them in their books. But speaking in general terms, we forget about the past when we take a new life, a new birth. Therefore, some people say it is a blessing to take a new birth. If someone, suppose there is a child and he is going into the market and he remembers the past and he sees a human being, a man, he recognizes this was the man who killed him, you see, and that was the cause of his death. Therefore he has taken this birth. He will catch hold of that man. You see, you killed me. Come to the police. I report against you. There will be turmoil in the society. A child living in this house and the next neighbor you see in the next building, he recognizes that this was the wife in my previous life. So he may ram into that lady, you see, and say, oh, how are you? You see, may begin to hug that lady, you see, kiss her on her cheeks, very deep kiss, you see, because she is her mother, she is her wife, his wife, you see. So the life would not be normal if we remembered about our past life. It's a blessing in disguise that we forget about it and open a new chapter. So one can live a new life only when one forgets the past. So also in spiritual knowledge, when you completely forget about your past, there are so many events, so many wrong things we did. That also we have to forget. So many good things we did. Those also we have to forget. Otherwise we become very proud of it. I belong to a very wealthy family. Someone has dedicated, now is in the institution, doing godly service. But all the time remembering, I belong to a very rich family. There is another sister who belongs to a poor family, you see. So this person will always behave in a different way, being proud that he or she belongs to a very rich, very wealthy family. So we have to die of the old in order to have this new experience. Now another, आगे बढ़ाना ही पड़ना है. When you work for others' progress, therein lies your own progress. Don't try to push yourself, you see, further ahead of others, leaving others behind, pushing them behind, pushing them back, you see. Some people do this in life. What do they do? In politics, for example, dirty politics, as we say. Today they are friends, tomorrow they are sworn enemies, because each one of them wants power. And in their struggle for power, Darwin said it is struggle for existence. But some say, like the existentialist, Nietzsche for example, that the life is for power. All the struggle is for power. Everyone wants power. And in order to have the power, they are struggling. They try to harm others, you see. That is not the way. In the spiritual way, spiritual path, what are our dadis doing? They are trying for the well-being of others. Let others go forward. They try to make others happy, even make sacrifices for them. So the more you work for the progress of others and let them go ahead of you, don't think that you will become a backward person. And people will say this man over a period of time has not been able to make good progress. No. Baba knows about it, others know about it. And the persons who have gone ahead of you, in their own mind they have this realization that you are a person who blessed them. And you were the instrument for their progress. So always think of this formula. दूसरों को आगे बढ़ाना ही स्वयं आगे बढ़ना है. To work for others' progress is self-progress. Then याद करना ही भूलना है. याद करना ही भूलना है. Remembrance is forgetfulness. They are two sides of the same coin. If you want to forget the past, forget certain things, you have to remember the opposite of them. Then only you forget the past. So how to forget? It is a very difficult task. Learning is also a difficult process. But to unlearn the thing which you have already learned, that is more difficult. Because you have learned something at great pains, spent so much time, made so much effort. After a lot of effort, you are able to learn something. So it has gone deep into your mind. Now to take all those things which have been learned out is a very difficult task. They say once a mother took her daughter along with her to a good dancer, teacher who used to teach others classical dances. And she said, my daughter has already learned something little bit, but now you give her more lessons, advanced lessons, you see. She has been practicing at home. Now this one who was supposed to teach this little girl, she said, oh, it's more difficult. It would have been better if she had not learnt, you see. Then I could have taught her. That would have been easier for me. Now that she has learned so many wrong things, to make her unlearn those things is one thing I have to do in addition. In addition to give her new lessons, you see. Your slate is already full, the slate of mind. You have scribbled in your notebook. So unless and until you tear away all those pages, you take the fresh ones and make new notes. Then if you write one thing upon another, oh, there is overwriting, so you can't make what it is. So what to do? How to forget about the past, how to unlearn and to learn the new thing. Learning new thing requires remembrance, memory. If memory were not a faculty, not an ability of the soul, we would be duffers, blockheads, knowing nothing. If someone teaches one lesson, then begins with another lesson, in the meantime we would have forgotten the old one. You see. So how could we learn? Unless and until we have memory, we remember. Remembering, memorizing, and then recapitulating, these are very important processes for learning. And these are possible only when you unlearn certain things. You see. Think over it. So याद करना, भूलना ही याद करना है. याद करना भूलना है. You see. So if you have no ability of forgetting the past, getting detached from it, it will be very difficult for you to learn this. This world drama repeats, and again we say, it was in the drama. It was in the drama. So we become light. If something has happened which is not in good taste, which we don't like, but it has happened, we say, by drama, it was drama. You say, what do you mean by drama? You see, you are talking all the time of drama. This misfortune, something wrong, something bad, something sad has happened. My leg is broken, you see. And now it has been hanged. You know, when somebody goes to the hospital with a broken bone, they just hang his leg, you see. So, my leg is broken and you say it is drama, you see. Who would like this kind of a drama? If somebody else's leg breaks, then of course it is okay. If my leg breaks, it is very difficult. So, you can remember drama and become light only when you forget the past. Past is past. Baba says if you want to pass with honors, in order to pass with honors, you should have this slogan. Daily you have one or other slogan in your murli. But there are certain permanent slogans, you see. Not for a day, thought for today, but thought for all times. Drama, drama, meetha drama, sweet drama, you see. Amma mare to bhi halwa khaun, abba mare to bhi halwa khaun. For me it is forbidden to take halwa, you see. Whosoever dies. But for all of you, anyone who dies, you can take halwa. You know that. Baba has been saying number of times, make that halwa. Baba was staying at the bungalow of a major. The major died. Baba said, practically we know, prepare halwa, you see, and offer bhog for this major who had passed away, you see. So, whatever happens, always be happy, nothing to worry, no problem, always happy. So, this is possible only for past is past. You forget. When you forget and you remember drama, both are two sides of the same coin. Otherwise, it can't happen. Then, Balik banna hi Malik banna hai. Balik banna hi Malik banna hai. Who is the inheritor of the property? The child. The child is the master of the property. He will inherit it. So the best way of having property is to be born as a child. If you want to inherit what Baba is going to give us, become just a child of Baba. Surrender to himself and think, Shiv Baba ki santan hai hum. Shiv Baba ki santan hai hum. Shiv Baba ki santan hai hum. Om Shanti. I was talking of the 8 hands or tips, you can say, which enable us to become a deity from human being, God and Goddess. To deserve the golden aged sovereignty, these are some of the formulas which enable us to make high quality efforts. I had mentioned 7 of them, and I said I want just to give you 8, so that we make an effort to become one of the Ashtadevtas, 8 deities. Now, one which is left yet is करके दिखाना ही करवाना है. When you yourself first do it, when you demonstrate an action from your own practical life, it is then only that you persuade others to follow, to do the same kind of action. That is what Baba had been doing. First of all, he gave up these evils, and from his own life he demonstrated what purity is. When people provoked and there were very inflammatory speeches against the institution, lot of opposition, even then he remained calm and quiet. He didn't lose his balance of mind. So if he had only just taught us in theory that we should remain undisturbed even in the face of economic and social storms, then perhaps we would not have been able to understand it very clearly, much less we would have been able to follow it. But when we saw that Baba himself had been doing this under very trying situations, when there were great traumatic situations, tribulations, he had remained unmoved. As a solid, as a firm rock, he stood and faced all the storms. So then it was an example set unto us what we should do, how we should do, why we should do. So all the ethics, all the moral values which he asked us to follow, he himself first followed them. Then only it was proper of him to ask us to do it. There is a saying, bell calls others to church but do not themselves go. औरों को नसीहत खुद मियाँ फसीयत, they say. You see. So, if he had not practically followed it, he hadn't perhaps the right to ask others to do it. If we also just are merely preachers, then perhaps we are not effective teachers. We cannot influence the society. We cannot transform and reform others. The best way is to put into practice in our own life. So also when we ask people to do service, may it be physical, mental, monetary, or in any other form, if we ourselves do it, then they say actions speak louder than words. Our own actions would be the best teachers for others. Instead of just speaking from word of mouth, our actions would persuade them to do it. 1 ounce of practice is, they say, better than a ton of knowledge. So in order to carry, instead of carrying a ton on our shoulders, It is better to have an ounce in our pocket and to put it into practice. So, this formula is, take for example, they give the example of a child. Someone calls on the phone and that little boy in the family picks up the receiver, answers the call. He says, "Is your father there in the house?" He says, "Yes." Then that gentleman who has called, he asks him to ask his father to speak to him, to come on the phone. Then his father rebukes him, admonishes him. He says, "Why you said I am here? I didn't want to speak to him." You see, go and tell him that he is not there in the house, I am mistaken. You see. So he first of all tells him how to tell a lie. You see. So the child goes and says in an innocent way, the father says, "Tell him that I am not here." You see. You see. So, who taught the child to tell lies? The father. And next time, when he goes with some of his friends and smokes, and we come to know that he is catching this habit, we ask him, "Did you smoke?" He says, "No, Papa, who told you? I never smoke." He is telling a lie. And the father says, "You tell lies? Where from you have learnt? Earlier you never told lies. Now you have begun to tell lies. Who told you like that? Who taught you?" Forgetting that it was he who taught him. You see. So whatever we do, Baba says, others are looking at you. They will follow you. They will imitate you. Every man has a monkey in him, you see. So they will monkey you. Darwin said that man is descended from ape, you see. That is wrong. But there is a little bit of ape in everyone, you see. That we should not have. So, unless and until we demonstrate things from our own actions, unless and until we ourselves take initiative and do things first, we can't ask others to do it. Baba used to do it. That we should do service to ourselves first of all. We should wash our dress, clean our utensils after taking food, clean our own room, so on and so forth. So Baba himself, along with other children, would work in the laundry, wash the clothes, and then no one can say, "I won't do it. I belong to a very rich family. I never did it earlier. We had servants in our families. They did such a job. It's not for me." Whether you were rich or not, but now you have dedicated. And when Baba, who was such a wealthy person, he himself, having sacrificed everything, is doing all those things. They say dignity of labor. Instead of teaching dignity of labor, if you demonstrate from your action about the dignity of labor, Baba says, it is not that those only who go on the stage and make good speeches, they do the maximum or the best kind of service, but also those who wipe the floor, clean the floor. They will be given equal marks. The thing is whether you do it with the motive of service, with dedication, with love for Baba, for the sake of human beings. You want to make sacrifices. You want that this world which has become bad, it should change. Are you prepared to do anything for a noble cause? That is the main question. So Baba has given us this formula for action that we should first of all do, and karna hi karana hai. When you do, others will follow. In karma theory, philosophy of karma, this is called lok sangraha. Lok sangraha. Even if you don't need to do it, you have others to do it for you. But lok sangraha, for the sake of others, you demonstrate. When you do it, others will follow it. So mind this is also an important aspect of karma. Lok sangraha. Do it. In the Gita, the God sermonizer says, Arjuna, I don't require to do any action. There is no desire. I don't want anything. I don't need anything. Why should I do action? But I do action so that people may follow. In order to teach them in practical terms, I do it. So this is called Lok Sangraha. For the sake of the whole mankind, you have to do it. Even if for your own sake, you don't need it. So this was the 8th, and I was asked that before I leave London, I should complete all these. I shouldn't leave everything halfway. So at least this part, giving you the 8 ones, I have demonstrated. Now, about the 16 vrittis, 16 moods, 16 different kind of intentions, motives. A man is as his motive is. We have 2 kinds of power. One is motor power, the other is motive power. Actually, whatever food you take, it gives you energy, it enables you to function, to work. That perhaps gives you what may be called motor power. Like you have a mobile, a vehicle, which takes you from place to place. So also you are able to walk and talk and do things when you eat and drink and take exercise, rest, follows the laws of nature and body, health and hygiene. Then you have the motor power. But more important than is motor power is the motive power. We commit so many accidents, social accidents, accidents in our life with our fellow beings. There is a struggle. We clash among ourselves because of clash of interest, because of ignoble motives, you see. So much of the turmoil in the society is because of wrong motivation. They always nowadays even talk of motivation when they give the management courses, that the company executive should motivate the workers properly. To motivate is something important. They give the ideology. The whole philosophy, the whole system of thought is for motivating people. You may even motivate a person to do some action. That is one thing. But to make them have proper motives is very difficult. Man is cunning, crooked, very complex in nature. Very few people are simple, clean of their mind. They do as they think. They speak as they think. Otherwise, most of the people wear masks. Inwardly, they are something different, but practically they do something different. That is what they do, you see. Muh mein Ram Ram, bagal mein churi, as they say. There is a saying. They are bhagatas, They show that they are very deeply religious-minded people, but inwardly they are very deceptive, create deception. Therefore, Karl Marx has written that the rich people are using religion as a tool to exploit the labor class. So, laborers of the world, unite. You are going to lose nothing but chains. So, he has written much about this. So, motive is very important. If we want to become good human beings, high human beings, noble human beings, as we must be, for our own sake, if not for anyone else's sake, at least for our own sake. Because if we don't have the proper motives, then we lose our peace of mind. Show me a person, anywhere in the world, in any country, any culture, any part of the world, any civilization, where a person has wrong motives, perverted motives, bad motives, and still is really peaceful. Cannot be. Purity is the mother of peace. And what do we mean by purity? Whether our motives are pure, genuine, gentle, for the benefit of all, whether we have good wishes for all, do we think for others, share with others, or we are selfish people? What are our motives? We have the will to grab things or to share things, you see. Niyat. They say niyat. What does niyat mean? Motive. The niyat sometimes is bad. Niyat jinki saaf, Bhagwan uns par razi. God is pleased with those who have good motives, you see. In the Sermon on the Mount, blessed are the poor, blessed is this, blessed is that. So many good things have been said. But blessed are those, I would say, it should be added, blessed are those whose motives are good, intentions are good, you see, who really want to do good things for others, who want to play the game of life fairly, not in a foul way, you see, who want to observe the laws of the game, not just to capture levers of power. They are prepared to do anything, any damn thing, I would say, you see. Such people are the bane of the society, who don't have the proper motives, you see. So very important are our motives. I was therefore talking of motives, vrittis, as they say. So some of the vrittis I had already said, I had already mentioned. Now,
what if the Brahman tries to do something daring and, because it's out of the norm, that he's looked down upon. I mean, you're saying that you should do something daring. Whereas when you do something daring in Brahman life, when you look down upon, you're sort of, secluded completely out of the clan.
What someone in the front bench repeat, I am not able to hear, you see. Or he should be given a microphone, or someone in the first row, would you please repeat, any one of you?
We didn't hear.
You are not able to hear, any one of you? But anyone who has been able to hear, would you please repeat?
You say that we will do something daring, right? And yet when we do something daring in a Brahmin life, right, you're looked down upon, you're actually secluded from the Brahmin clan, you're actually even told to get out of the building. You're saying do something daring, Can you explain yourself in it? Daring, and you're doing the thing with good motive, with good honest heart, And yet when you do something like that, when you, for example, have long hair, you look down upon, you think that you're a freak. Why? What's wrong with having long hair? We are taught here to be soul conscious, and yet, the first thing they do is look at your body. Can you answer that for me, please? I'm sorry.
and they perhaps criticize him about his hair, long hair. That's what he means to say.
No, that is why the whole question of doing something daring, if you do something daring, it's going to be different.
But be calm and peaceful.
Yeah, okay.
Just as you have long hair which are beautiful and good, similarly you should have peace.
Yeah, okay.
That is very important. As long as your hair are, you see. That is also essential. Good long hair are not bad, you see. They protect you against the vagaries of nature. Everyone is free to keep as big as possible or as one likes, you see. Unfortunately, I don't have hair. Previously, it was a good garden, but now it has become an airport, So, maybe just as people criticize you, they may be criticizing me also. So, we are both on equal footing. Don't mind, you are my friend. Okay? Thank you. So, what I was saying is, you see, everyone has, this is not a question of motive only. It's a question of culture, ideas. We are indoctrinated. We have some idiosyncrasies. We are committed. We have made up our mind. This thing is beautiful, that thing is ugly, you see. But fashions change. Maybe a day comes when everyone wants to have his head shaved and be like me, you see. And there are many people in the street, in the hall, everywhere, and I have a big army, I being their commander, you see. Having this kind of thing. Don't worry. Don't bother. Remain unmoved. People may so many things. They give the example of an elephant. An elephant is going along the path. Dogs bark. But the elephant is not disturbed. Thinking that I am stout, I have a lot of energy, I am strong. They are foolish, barking, let them bark. So let people say anything, why you bother? Why you pocket? They always say, I pocketed insult. But why did you pocket insult? The pocket is not meant for that purpose, you see. I have 4 pockets, 2 here, 2, you see, 1 here, 3, and 2 in my shirt, 5 pockets. If I begin to pocket insult, how much insult I can pocket? Pocket is not meant for that purpose. Don't mind it, you see. Let people say anything. So, when I was talking, now can I proceed further? You are now in tranquility, stability.
I don't know if you answered my question.
We'll talk later sometime.
We'll do something truthful, right?
Yeah. We can talk later, brother, sometime. So, there are only 3 or 4 minutes. I think I have already consumed time, perhaps 2 or 3 minutes. So, one of them is Atma Vishwas Vritti, self-confidence. Mode as well as mood as well as motive, you see. Self-confidence. Much of the trouble is because a person has no self-confidence. So they are unable to make progress, make headway. They are trying to eradicate poverty, for example. And much of the poverty in the world is because the poor, they have no confidence in themselves, that they can make efforts and they also can have riches. They don't have this kind of a confidence in themselves. So some people make efforts for confidence building, you see. Confidence. Confidence in the self, confidence in others, confidence in God. That's a lot. It makes us strong. It enables us to go forward in our life. Why people have depression? Many of them. Because they have lost self-confidence. They think they are worthless fellows. They can't do anything. They don't belong to anyone. No one likes them. They feel forlorn, lonely. People have given them up, so on and so forth. So they have all these kinds of thought. Actually, the basic cause is that they have lost self-confidence. So, Atma Vishwas Vritti, our mood, our attitude, should always have this kind of thing. They say you should have vitamin A, B, C, so on, so many vitamins. But this is a vitamin. Without this, you can't have strength. They say you should have iron, you should have blood transfusion, you should have nourishing food, balanced food, this thing, that thing. In order that you may be strong, kicking and doing. But this thing, more than iron, you see, self-confidence. What can't you do? You can do everything, provided you have the self-confidence. I am a child of Shiv Baba, and God is Almighty. My Father is Almighty. So what can't I do? He is my best friend, my guide, my helpmate, my companion. So with His help, under His umbrella of guidance and help, I can do anything. So if we have that confidence, things which appear impossible can be made possible. Om Shanti. The rest we take some other time.